All right, hey, we're live.
Wait, is that the new microphone?
What?
New Logitech? Oh yeah, good.
You have little faith. How you doing, everyone? It's April 16th, and you can see we've got a slightly different. We moved from one room to another room in our office. It's a little bit dark. We'll have to fix that next
Yeah.
time. But that's okay. They're not going to spend much time looking at us, anyways, because we're just going to be looking at the screens. It is what is it? It's April 16th today, and hey, it's been an interesting week. It's
Yeah.
been a really interesting week. Last week we talked about Bitcoin and the markets, and we were on an upward trajectory, and that was sort of our plan. And I don't know if you guys happen to remember, but we had an order to sell around, it was around 74,000, 75,000, and we expected the price to go up, and we wouldn't be surprised if, whether it took a week or 2 months or whatever, for it to get certainly up into the 80s. Everything else being equal, maybe even low 90s wouldn't surprise me too much. I don't know why I'm moving it up there, 'cause I just want to look at the chart like this, because I mean, look where we came from. Everyone knows we spent a lot of time in this low 90 area, and of course support turns into resistance, so I would expect it to bump its head along the bottom here if it did make a move up. What we said we were doing is we were selling our position, it was going up, and we were buying any pullbacks. Well, we didn't get any pullbacks. So we've just been selling our position. You can see we've got an order to sell up here, just under $80,000, selling a little bit more of our position, and then we'll just see what happens. I think that the interesting thing is the market has really been, let's move this down just a bit more, just so in case. The market has been, I mean, absolutely on fire. The
Yeah.
traditional market. So the S&P was, I mean, maybe that's the way everybody's face. I don't know. I don't know. Why does it have to be so complicated? Why can't we just, there? The market's on fire.
Yeah.
It was unstoppable yesterday.
Well, I mean, the markets have basically priced in the end of the war.
Yes. Yeah.
Which may be a mistake, but we'll come to that later.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and we're going to talk about some individual stocks as well, because we did very well yesterday. And for those who are in our trading room, well, you should join, because
yeah.
we could have made your entire year yesterday
Yeah.
on that Tesla trade. And we'll take a look at that in
Yeah,
a second.
I was a chicken yesterday. I only made $17,000 in 5 minutes.
Chicken feed.
I could have made $250,000 in 5 minutes.
I know, right? And it's one of those things too. You look back and you said, "Oh, I should have bought 10,000 shares." At the time you don't know, but
Yeah.
it was setting up pretty nicely, and it looked like a pretty good play. And of course, we were watching the options flow, and it was extraordinary. So we knew the price had to go up.
Put up the Tesla chart.
So let's take a look at Tesla here, because we did make money on this account. You can see we've still got a little bit of our Tesla long here. And let's, where's these little fast ones? Here it is.
So, yeah.
So,
you see that green candle
this here.
Yeah. So what happened in our trading room, which you can subscribe to, by the way, is that the call went out. Wayne yelled out suddenly, "What the hell's happening with Tesla? Everyone's buying calls."
Right here. Yeah. Right here is where it happened.
And we didn't even stop to think. We just piled in. I actually just sold 0DT put spreads, and Wayne bought some 0DT calls and some stock, and I knew that we were long stock in this account, and the market was at 365 at the time, and literally within 10 minutes it was up at 370 and didn't stop, as you can see.
And in this case, we bought 0DTEs because that was what was going off on the screen. It wasn't like, it might go, but it could take a day or two or a week. It was like today. So it was obvious.
And I didn't have confidence in Tesla as a company necessarily, but I did have confidence when I see 100,000 contracts being bought in 5 minutes. I know what's going on, and I'm going to pile in.
If you remember, last week we talked about Tesla, and I said, we actually got into a position just under $400. It was an accident. It was an order that was left out there. I discovered it days later. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I averaged in, and you can see our average price is right around 371. The interesting thing is, last week when we were down here, we were talking about Tesla being down here, and we said, well, there's a SpaceX IPO coming up, and my theory was there could be people who are long from $100 or $200 or whatever, taking profits, just taking massive profits, driving it down because they know it's going to go up again, and they'll give them an opportunity to reload it, do both, take profit and reload.
Mm.
And I'm not saying that's what happened, but
Sure looks
the
like it.
chart sure looks like it. And maybe there's another reason, I don't know. But,
Well, when you see 100,000 contracts, so that's 10 million shares worth of
Yeah.
DTE calls being bought, and that means that
Extraordinary.
someone's going to have to take delivery of 10 million shares at
Yeah.
the end of the day. There's only institutions can afford that. Individuals don't do that.
Yeah,
So
and when you think about that, when you're buying those calls, there's someone, a dealer, on the other side of that transaction, and what do they have to do to hedge their position? They have to buy the stock.
yeah,
So that's what makes it go up. So we're 99% sure it was going to work out, and it
yeah.
did. So here we are, and we had this position we were talking last week, and I was thinking, well, we'll wait for it to go up. Whether that takes a week, a month, or it'll be in August. I didn't know. I didn't expect it to happen in one bloody day. That's crazy, right? Crazy. But now that gravity has access to, basically equity trading, we can do that on here, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll start to talk more about a lot of these other trades we do besides Bitcoin
Well,
because gravity has it.
I think if Gravity clients start to subscribe to us and our Traders.live room, we can put these as monitored these pairs.
Yeah.
We can monitor them, and if we see flow, we can just tell people there and then it's going on.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Specifically for what gravity has available, we
Yeah.
can actually just hook up an API or something, or do something like that. Yeah.
Just
Okay.
because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of shenanigans. I mean, the markets are very corrupt. The large banks and hedge funds are very close to the government, senators and congressmen. Those guys are all insider dealing. Trump's family are all insider dealing, allegedly, and so I think there's a lot of big signals coming out, and I think it's going to continue because I believe that the Trump family is there to drain the coffers of the US into its own pocket at the present time, rather than actually run the country. And so this kind of stuff is just going to continue.
All right.
I probably just put a big target on my head.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't have an opinion on it, but that's fine. That's fine. So let's take a quick look. We've also got PAX G. Let's not forget about our gold position we've had forever, which was kicking ass, and then it got crushed, and now it's back into profit land.
Yeah.
Hey, what's our average price here? It's like 47.18. Yeah,
Yeah,
not bad. Yeah, we'll see. You expect this to keep grinding up. This is just a blip on the screen as far as you're concerned.
I'm not at all. So I wouldn't be surprised in the least if in December we were at $10,000 or $20,000 an ounce. Still.
Okay. So for those people who are trading gold, hey, maybe just hang in there. But gold people always say that. So what are we looking for here? Well, sorry, just to quickly go back. I don't want to beat this Tesla thing to death, but I've got another order up, which has been out since yesterday, just underneath $400 even. But I'm thinking, maybe I just cancel it and wait and see if the SpaceX we get up to 450 or 500 or something ridiculous. And I'm just going to keep buying pullbacks. Maybe not. I mean, I like to take money off the table, but I did. I sold a little bit at around, I think 372. I had an order there, and then things started to rip. So I thought, well, let's put an order out. Oh, sorry, no, not 370. I put an order out at I think it was 380 or 381, and then another order at 390 something, 392.
Nice.
I didn't expect that to all get filled yesterday, so I was like, oh, geez, Louise, okay, I'll take it. So we can leave that there. We can take it off. But either way, we made some profit. We got back into the greenland. So that's what I'm thinking. I might actually lift this order and just say, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens over the next few weeks and see if it makes a real run.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't stop. I mean, let's see what the because there was also some option flow for day 2 as well, DT+1, which is expiring today. So you never know, might carry on up.
Yeah, and it could have a spike up to 410 or something and pull back. Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. But maybe I'll lift that. Can you just drag orders? Oh, maybe you can.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that! Huh, look at that. Oh, jeez. They didn't have that before.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe it's not that new, but the last time I tried it, it didn't work. So there we go. All right. So let's get back to Bitcoin world. Let's take a quick look at the liquidation heat map. This is 24 hours. So where do we have the liquidity? Well, it's sitting up here at 76 basically. Not a ton. Yeah. Maybe 50, 60 million. I don't know. And then we've got a little bit down here at 74.
So I think that what we saw in equity markets and Bitcoin was a short squeeze because everyone was short all markets because everyone was convinced that the world's going to hell, and it is going to hell, but not tomorrow, right? Um, and and so when there's a rip up, it catches everyone off guard, and markets were thin. Bitcoin markets were thin.
Yeah.
TradFi markets were
Yeah.
thin. Everything's thin, right?
Yeah.
Retail are nowhere to be seen anywhere, and in any market. And I think that's a reflection on how poor people are feeling, actually.
Yeah, and we saw the S&P grind up yesterday, and a lot of times it'll do that when it's a quiet day and there's not much going on.
Yeah.
It just keep creeping its way up, and that's what it did yesterday.
Yeah.
So the 3-day doesn't really tell us too much. There's hardly anybody doing anything.
But I think well, the daily's telling us we're going to basically bounce up and down today, $1,000, right? And actually,
Yeah.
so's the week.
Yeah, look, it's 1 week. There's
Yeah.
not a lot there. I think we need to go out like 1 month to see anything of substance. And look, yes, well, this got punched,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. That's it. So that's. I mean, there's maybe a little bit more upside, but there's not a massive draw to
Yeah.
drag any more up unless news comes out or people get, very bullish on everything.
the only thing this chart is missing is a tumbleweed rolling across it. There's just not a lot going on right now in the
Yeah.
retail world, and I think everybody's sitting on their hands. But
we've had quite a big move up, right? Since from 65 to 75.
Yep.
That's what 14%. It's a big move.
yeah, it's pretty good. Yep.
And if I'd been long that all the way up from the bottom, I might want to start fading it now, probably. Just because it's a big move.
Yeah, and we know the next real area of resistance that we talked about is that low 90s because it sat down there forever. Well,
Yeah.
not forever, but a certain amount of time, and I expect it to hit its head. So if it does want to keep going up, I wouldn't be surprised if it blasted right through the 80s, and hit its head up at the high 80s, low 90s. There's something I want to mention about that.
Let's not discount the ability of Donald Trump and his warmongers to
Yes.
surprise everyone.
Yeah.
So at the moment, everyone thinks, oh well, the peace deal's on its way, and the Iranians are negotiating. But actually, if you look at the tweets coming out of Iran, they're saying nothing reported in the Western press is real.
Yeah.
That's not us. You've got a blockade that Chinese ships have just sailed straight through, and China's government has said to the US, "You don't tell us what to do." And now I just read this morning that the US government has been in talks with Ford and General Motors to ask them to repurpose their production lines to build arms.
Oh, okay.
That happened last in the Second World War.
Yeah. All right.
So so it feels to me as if the US government is gearing up for a wartime economy. That's not going to be unnoticed by everybody else, and I wouldn't at all be surprised to see bombs flying next week in Iran and probably all over the world in 6 months' time.
I don't know. That's pretty pessimistic, Richard. But
there's always opportunities in war.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and what does this mean for the market? Well, the market might just keep grinding up. It might have little blips down.
So this caused me to go back and look at the historical numbers of what happened to the S&P and the Dow Jones during the Second World War. And as you might imagine, at the beginning, particularly around Pearl Harbor, there was a 20% dip, and then the market just ground up through the rest of the war.
Sure.
Because of the wartime economy driving all the companies. And I also checked which companies did best, and you would think that it would be the arms companies did best, but they didn't. The ones that actually had the highest share price increase over the Second World War was alcohol.
All right. So buy Seagrams. All right. The other thing I was going to mention too is while the markets have been blasting highs, Bitcoin has been strong. We've got this nice uptrend, but it's not exactly blasting out highs. We've got a long ways to go before it's highs.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. It's being reluctantly dragged up, and if you're a trader, you know that the weakest one in a bull market is the one you want to short first.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Bitcoin acts a bit differently, but if we have a downturn, we could see this thing right back down in the mid to high 60s.
I think we will. I don't think it's going to just grind up here to 90. This is almost starting to look like a second rejection to me.
I think if the market keeps going up and hits new highs,
Sure.
then it will keep grinding. But yes, and look, we came up here. What was that? Middle of March, we were up here quickly and it got rejected pretty fast. So this is really another test at this area, and we can see it's hovering. So we'll see what happens. But I'll still buy pullbacks. Although on this pullback, will it pull back down to this area down here, mid 60s? I guess we'll see. But
Yeah.
I'm happy to reload there and then sell high 60s, low 70s again, and just keep rinsing and repeating until that pattern ends. All right, let's take a look at the.
Actually, we're saying that our ferrocapital bot is currently long.
It's long.
Yeah.
Okay, but that can change minute to minute.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
just an FYI.
yeah. But it's been long for the past 2 days and it hasn't changed its mind.
Okay.
2 days.
Yeah. So here we can see the blue is the price of Bitcoin, and these are all the volatility of the different time frames down here in the orange and yellow.
Yeah.
So we're getting a bit of a divergence. The price is going up, and the vol's dropping a little bit.
Yeah, normal.
Yep.
So I think, as I said last week, 2 years ago, that would have been the inverse. You'd have seen vols rising as the market rises, and that's because the options market in Bitcoin used to be full of enthusiastic people buying calls.
Yeah.
But now
2 years of being hammered in the crypto market has changed that. Eh?
Yeah, well, now the options market in Bitcoin is basically people sell covered calls, so they're constantly selling. So as the market rises, they're selling calls into that, so it drives down the volatility. And actually also provides a buffer because the buy side are selling calls. It means the brokers are buying calls, which means they have to sell futures to hedge their delta, which means that as people try to scalp more value by selling calls on Bitcoin, the Bitcoin gets more and more resistance to going up because the brokers keep selling it. So.
Yep. And we can see the funding rate is zero right now.
Yeah,
The our funding rate, even after that massive bull market yesterday. So the market's not. It's very neutral right now.
Well, the phrase they're using in the trad markets, which I think is suitable for Bitcoin too, is this is the most loathed rally.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and these are the type of rallies which can frustrate you because you be reluctant. It might go up, another 5%, but you're reluctant to get in because it's just not giving you the signals it's going to run. It's just this grind, and you sit there helplessly. You feel helpless sitting on your hands.
That's why I only made a bit of money yesterday on Tesla. I was looking at Tesla ripping, and I thought, seriously.
Yeah.
Are you really going to buy this? Bullshit.
but when the options flow comes in that hard, you got it. You just got to just take that leap of faith and go. And we could have made you all rich yesterday.
But unfortunately, I went in. I mean, because I loathed it so much, I went in at 1/5 size rather than just going full in and cashing in.
All right, so let's take a look at the numbers here. What numbers do you want to cover for the?
Well, the at the money is interesting. So the at the money 1 week is 40%, but right out to 9 months is 46%. So what we're seeing now a normal backwardation, contango of vol. So i.e. longer dated is more volatile, less certainty. That's good, and actually that tells me that this rally is not being. Normally, if we see a lot of people being caught, dealers are short gamma. They'll be marking up vol as the market rises, and they'll mark up vol in 1 week and 2 week ahead of 1 month. So if we see that the 1 week at the money vols are higher than the 1 month at the money vols, that's normally an indication that dealers are kind of under stress and they don't want to be selling any more options to you. But there's no signs of stress here whatsoever, which tells me that this move is just purely technical and there's no conviction behind it and there's no force behind it, and dealers aren't getting stressed at all. And so this is just we're just blowing with the wind of the rest of the market. I think this is not a Bitcoin specific bull market.
I think the important thing to really understand about these at the money forwards is that it takes two to contango.
Right.
All right.
I'm so glad you weren't my dad.
How about the flies and the risk reversal? What do you think?
Okay, so again, the 10 delta, 25 delta flies are saying that there is no real runaway risk of if the market moves up a bit, it's not going. We don't feel like it's going to charge up and carry on going. Maybe more in the 1 week, but basically there's no fear of runaway here at all. And then the 25 delta risk reversals, we are again mildly cautious about the downside.
Very normal. Yeah,
which is normal.
Yeah.
In these markets. Yeah.
And I noticed the 10 delta risk reversals at about 7.5%. What were they? I think they're about 9% last week. The week before they were 19 or something.
Yeah.
weren't they?
So minus 20% is kind of getting near max fear. We've seen it at minus 40, but that's terrible.
Very, very brief. Yeah.
So we're basically losing our fear of the market. I don't think the market will ever completely lose its fear. I think that the majority of institutional traders are now just selling calls and buying some puts for protection, which means that the calls get pushed down in price, puts get pushed up in price, which is what causes this risk reversal that we're seeing. And the 10 delta are further away from the money compared to the 25 delta, so people are willing to pay more for tail protection way down there. So they're buying like 50k puts, and they're happy to pay for them.
And that's normal market situation where people have been experienced enough where they're going to have protection because they see what can be done. And I'll say something about our trading group. About 2 weeks ago, when it was looking like the market might crash, and a lot of people were screaming, "It's going to crash! It's going to crash!" One of our guys, Sammy, said that nope, the market has fully hedged itself. There's puts everywhere, so if the market crashes, nobody's going to get hurt, so it's not going to crash.
Exactly.
And that was a really interesting insight, and he'd done a lot of research. So
market's always.
It didn't mean the market was necessarily going to rip rally, but.
Yeah, the market always seeks to hurt the most number of people.
Yeah.
And so if everyone's short, it's going to go long. Right?
Yeah. All right, so here we are. We're another weekend. Bitcoin has ground up exactly like we thought it would, or we suspected it might, and we were able to make a bit of money. We still got some, and as I said, we're looking to sell the rest up at 80 if it gets there. But if we get a pullback, we're going to be happy to buy again mid 60s. We'll see. We're still subject to these crazy headlines every day, as you guys know, and Trump tweets and this whole Iran thing. So, we're not out of the woods.
Yeah.
But I think that the plan stays the same as it was last week. If it keeps rallying, we'll just keep selling what we have into it and buying pullbacks. If we get any pullbacks, we're not going to load the boat. If it goes up to 82, I'm not going to load the boat on a pullback to 78.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like that would be the prudent thing to do. And maybe it would be, but I'd feel a little bit cautious about that. The only equity we have on the hook right now is Tesla, which we've had for a little while now, a few weeks. And of course, we've made some good profit on that as it's gone up. I've just raised my offer to 408 half basically. So we'll see. If it comes straight back down, that's fine. I'd rather just sit and wait. I mean, I could put a sell stop, so if it goes below 390 or something, I get out. But we don't have a big enough position for me to really worry about it that much. I'd rather just wait and see and let it go through its gyrations and figure itself out, and I'll buy again if it comes down here. Again, SpaceX, Tesla, very unique. If you're talking about the U.S. gearing up for a wartime economy, we know that Musk and his group of companies are going to be really bigly involved.
So the major part of the next war between China and the US is going to be satellite wars.
Yeah.
So SpaceX is going to be hugely important. What's that satellite link thing he does?
Starlink.
That they're going to have to produce many more of those, because the first targets that the Chinese will have will be spy satellites and Starlinks.
Yeah.
To cut out comms on the battlefield.
Yeah.
And in terms of the way this year is going to go, I actually think that we're going to see a ground invasion of Iran, maybe even this weekend.
You think so?
Or next week. It's going to surprise everyone how early it is, and because we're still supposedly in a ceasefire, but I think that'll get broken and they'll go in. And even if they don't break the ceasefire, they'll go in straight afterwards. And I don't think the markets will care, because the markets will say, "Oh, it's just Trump playing his stupid games again," right? The market's now immune to Trump, and what's going to happen then is the US are going to lose a couple of ships to Iranian missile fire, and then the market's going to wake up. That's how I predict it's going to go.
Okay, that's interesting. And I will note something else. I watched a video about some recent strikes in Iran that the Israelis were doing, and they were showing, it was actually Chinese satellite images and a little bit of video. and it seemed that Iran had basically put up no air defense against those whatsoever. We know it has missiles in long range, but it doesn't. It seems to either lack them or for some reason not using them. Maybe they don't have.
I imagine
good air
they've
defense.
computed that the risk, they'll be the first targets. So in the end, they'll get overwhelmed by incoming missile fire. So there's no point putting them out.
Well, the Israelis are picking them off. Those
Right.
air. They're picking off the air defense things. So
So better to hide underground and just launch big missiles at
for now,
juicy targets.
yeah. And who knows? Those could be fake, missile launchers,
There
right?
are a lot of them. There are many companies in China making fake military gear.
I saw that. Yeah,
It's quite cheap.
Yeah.
Well, I might buy one.
yeah. Great idea.
Stick it in my worst enemy's garden.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't really think I've got much else to cover. I mean, steady as she goes. I think I'm pretty happy. We pulled profit on everything this week. Things went according to how we thought it would. Okay, we didn't expect Tesla to go up that fast, but hey, sometimes you get these pleasant surprises. And I think that what we're going to do is we're going to start to cover more of the equities on this gravity stream as gravity keeps adding in more and more metals. And we have a lot of metal traders, a lot of commodity traders in our group. So as gravity starts to add those, we'll start.
Well, I was going to say there's a copper USDT here, and our trading group loves copper. We're all bullish copper.
Yeah, and I think that's mostly exposure through Glencore, though, wasn't it? The stock. Yeah, a lot of guys are making a lot of money on Glencore.
I'm doing well with Glencore, just selling puts against it.
I'm just taking a quick look to see what's new, if there's anything new. Oh, natural gas. I think did they have natural gas last week? That's a tough one to trade sometimes if you're trading the like contracts. But here where you don't have the contracts expiring, actually, it might be a better opportunity. Because natural gas isn't going to zero, so buy dips. Look, they've got Brent crude, so they had West Texas Intermediate, and now they've got Brent. Very interesting. TSMC, that's new. Micron, Louise.
We should buy some Brent. 91's too cheap.
You think so?
Yeah. Right now, everyone's bearish oil because they think, the war's over. Right? Oil's come down $10. No fucking way.
This is Brent crude.
Yeah.
So look, we'll just go like I don't know a few percent. We'll just put a market order and I'll buy some. What do you say?
Yeah, I think so. I think we just.
I can barely see what's going on over there. I just clicked the button and I'm assuming we bought something.
That's how easy it is.
Yeah, just how easy it is. Look, we bought a tiny little bit of this. This isn't a big count we're trading here, right? Like 10 grand in there or something. So there we go. Maybe what we'll do, should we put in some bids or just wait and see? If the war's over tomorrow, this is going straight down until we're going to lose.
The war is absolutely not over.
You heard it here first. It's not. So
you don't mobilize an entire army to not fight a war.
So should we try and sell up here if it gets near highs? You just want to hold on to this thing and let it go to $200?
I think put a bid in at 85, just 85, 86, 87, and then hold it to 150 or 300.
Okay, we'll buy a little bit at let's say, $85.
Yeah.
85.04 just to there we go.
All right. By the time over the next couple of months, we'll see Brent crude at $200 a barrel for sure.
All right.
It's guaranteed.
Just so you know, this is Richard's trade, not mine. If this thing goes to $30 or to zero or to negative, like it's done in the past, it's his fault.
There isn't enough oil on the sea to bring the price down that far.
All right. So we have no idea where we're going to sell it. We're just going to wait and see what happens with the war and let it go.
Start fading out at $200 a barrel.
Oh my God, $200 a barrel.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? Hey, it's supposed to be entertainment, so we're hopefully going to entertain you. But if you look on the chart, I mean, if you think this is the base, well, I guess this is a good buy. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have data because this contract was introduced, or this asset was introduced here on the 9th of April. So we've only got that much data. So we can't see what happened before. Anyways, I think that's it for today. Anything else you want to add?
No. Let's have a look at the option structure and then maybe do some more trades later on.
You want to look at the option structure right now?
No, because I can't
go.
see it till the market opens. So,
Back it does. Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Hey, thanks for joining us this week. Next week, we'll get a little bit light in the front there, so we're not quite so dark. But we've moved out here because it's more convenient with our other computers and stuff. So, anyways, that's it for this week. We'll catch you next week, everyone.